Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to kick off our session today. Today, we'll be exploring Unit 1, titled 2 is Better Than 1, focusing on reading skills. Our mega goal for this unit is 3.1. Since this is our first slide, I just want to say how glad I am to have you here. We'll briefly go over what you can expect from this presentation. We'll look at some key concepts and strategies to help us improve our reading together. But for now, let's get started. Today, we'll focus on the lesson objectives for this session. First, you'll learn how to describe pictures using your own words, which helps improve your vocabulary and descriptive skills. Next, we'll practice reading for specific information, so you can find details quickly and accurately in texts. We'll also work on deducing the meaning of new words, a key skill for expanding your vocabulary and understanding context. Additionally, you'll answer some questions about the text to check your comprehension. We'll create an outline of a reading, helping you organize and understand main ideas and supporting details. Lastly, we'll discuss the topic of the relationship of a good friend, exploring what makes friendships strong and meaningful. These objectives are designed to develop your reading and speaking skills, all within the theme of building and understanding good relationships. All right, let's start with a quick warm-up. Take a moment and think about the title of this presentation. Now, how many animals can you find or get from those words? It's a fun little challenge to get your brain thinking creatively. Next, I want to introduce you to a simple but effective technique called the 1-minute strategy. The idea here is to give yourself just 1 minute to brainstorm, analyze, or come up with ideas related to the topic. Why is this important? Well, it encourages quick thinking and helps you break free from overthinking. It's especially useful in discussions or problem-solving scenarios where rapid idea generation is key. Throughout this presentation, I'll be emphasizing the importance of these quick, strategic exercises because they build agility and confidence. They also connect to our overall theme of enhancing decision-making skills and fostering creative thinking. So keep that in mind. And let's move forward with these tools to sharpen our minds and improve our approach to challenges. Warm up, everyone. Let's think about something interesting. Do you believe animals ever form partnerships to help each other out? It's a fascinating idea, isn't it? When I say partnership, I mean when someone does or shares something with another person or animal. It's all about working together or helping each other out. Now, the word partner is key here because it captures that sense of collaboration and mutual support. Throughout today's presentation, we're going to explore how animals form these kinds of partnerships and why they matter. This concept of partnership helps us understand the ways different creatures interact and support one another in the wild. So, keep this idea in mind as we move forward. Partnerships are not just a human thing. Animals do it too, often in surprising and interesting ways. So, what animal partners do you think this reading will discuss? Take a moment to think about it. Now, looking at the options here, we have the crocodile and the plover bird, the zebra and the ostrich, and the clownfish and the anemone. These pairs are all great examples of animal partnerships. The key idea here is that many animals form relationships that benefit both partners. For instance, the crocodile and the plover bird have a fascinating relationship where the bird cleans the crocodile's teeth, and in return, it gets a meal. Similarly, the clownfish and the anemone have a mutualistic relationship where the clownfish gets protection, and the anemone gets cleaned. As we go through today's presentation, keep these examples in mind because they really highlight how animals work together to survive and thrive in their environments. So let's take a closer look at this slide. The title asks, do you think animals ever form partnerships to help one another? This question really gets us thinking about cooperation in the animal kingdom. There are 6 paragraphs here, each likely exploring different examples or ideas related to animal partnerships. These could include symbiotic relationships, mutual aid, or cooperation in hunting and protection. We also see there are 3 pictures on this slide. Visuals are really helpful to illustrate these concepts, showing animals working together or forming alliances. Overall, what this slide emphasizes is that animals aren't always just competing. Many times, they form partnerships that benefit both parties. This idea connects to the larger theme of cooperation and mutual support in nature, which is a fascinating aspect of animal behavior. So, I encourage you to think about your own experiences or observations. Have you seen animals helping each other out? It's a remarkable reminder of how cooperation exists across the animal world. Today, I want to talk about outlining as a reading strategy. Outlining involves working either individually or with a partner to create a structured overview of a reading text. The idea is to break down the content into main ideas and supporting details, which helps us understand and remember what we've read more effectively. When you create an outline, you're essentially mapping out the text's key points in a clear, organized way. This makes it easier to see how different parts relate to each other and to the overall message. Outlining is a powerful tool because it encourages active engagement with the material, and it can be especially helpful when preparing for exams or writing summaries. Remember, the goal is to identify the most important concepts and organize them logically. By doing this, we connect individual points to the bigger picture, reinforcing our understanding and making the reading process more purposeful. Now, let's talk about symbiosis. Symbiosis is a special kind of relationship between animals where they depend on each other and also benefit from one another. It's like a partnership that helps both species survive and thrive. When we say animals depend on each other, we mean that they rely on one another for things like food, protection, or other resources. And importantly, both animals gain something from this relationship, which is what makes it beneficial for both. This concept is really central to understanding how different animals interact in their environments, and it highlights the interconnectedness of life. As we go through this presentation, keep in mind how these relationships shape ecosystems and the survival strategies of animals. Now, let's take a closer look at the fascinating relationship between the African crocodile and the plover bird. The plover bird has a special role. It picks food out of the crocodile's mouth, which actually helps prevent infections. This might sound surprising, but it's a clear example of mutual benefit. The crocodile gets a clean mouth and fewer health issues, while the plover gets an easy meal. This relationship is a perfect example of symbiosis, where both animals benefit. It highlights how different species can work together in nature to survive and thrive. When we think about the overall theme of our presentation, adaptation and cooperation, this partnership reminds us that cooperation can be crucial for survival in the wild. Now let's look at the fascinating relationship between the honeyguide bird and the ratel, or honey badger. The honeyguide is the one that locates the beehive, using its keen senses to find where the honey is stored. Once it finds the hive, it signals to the ratel, which then tears open the hive to access the delicious honey inside. Both animals are working towards a shared goal, obtaining food. The honeyguide's role is to find the hive, and the ratel's role is to break it open. This collaboration highlights an important concept: how different species can work together to achieve a common objective, especially when each one has a unique role to play. Connecting this to our overall theme, it shows us how understanding strategies in nature can inspire us to think about teamwork and shared goals in our own lives. Now, let's look at our next example of a reading strategy in action: outlining, using the story of the ostrich and the zebra. So the ostrich has excellent eyesight, which allows it to spot predators from a long distance. That's a huge advantage because it gives the ostrich time to react and escape. On the other hand, the zebra relies heavily on its senses of smell and hearing to detect approaching threats. Its keen senses help it notice predators that might be sneaking up quietly. So, how do the zebra and the ostrich benefit each other? Well, by working together, their different strengths create a more effective defense system. The ostrich can alert the zebra to danger with its visual signals, while the zebra can detect threats early through smell and sound, even if the ostrich hasn't seen them yet. This example highlights the power of combining different skills and perspectives, something we often see in effective reading strategies and in teamwork overall. It reminds us that understanding diverse approaches can help us better grasp complex ideas and enhance our ability to respond and adapt. Now, let's look at the fascinating relationship between the clownfish and the anemone. The clownfish plays a crucial role by attracting prey into the anemone and also cleaning up scraps of food, which benefits the anemone by keeping it healthy. In return, the anemone provides a safe home and a source of food for the clownfish. This mutual relationship highlights how different species can work together to survive and thrive. It's a perfect example of symbiosis, where both partners gain important benefits. As we see, this relationship is a key part of understanding how animals adapt and coexist in their environments, connecting back to our overall theme of ecological relationships. This slide highlights some fascinating examples of mutualism, where two animals depend on each other and both benefit. For instance, the plover bird and the crocodile have a unique relationship. The plover cleans the crocodile's teeth, which helps prevent infections, and in return, the plover gets a meal. It's a perfect win-win situation. Then we have the honey-guide bird and the ratel, or honey badger. The honey-guide spots the beehive and guides the ratel to it. The ratel then tears open the hive, allowing both to access the honey. The bird benefits by finding food, and the ratel gets a tasty treat too. Moving on to zebras and ostriches, though they don't directly interact with each other, their senses complement each other in the wild. Zebras have poor eyesight but excellent smell and hearing, helping them detect danger through their other senses. Ostriches, on the other hand, have great eyesight but weaker senses of smell and hearing, so they rely on their keen eyes to spot threats early. Finally, we see the relationship between the anemone and the clownfish. The anemone provides a safe haven and leftover food for the clownfish. In return, the clownfish attracts prey to the anemone and keeps it clean by eating leftover scraps and dead tentacles. It also protects the anemone from fish that might try to eat it. All these examples show how mutualism fosters survival by creating partnerships that benefit both animals involved. It's a powerful reminder of how interconnected life is in nature. When someone has a problem, it's important to know how we can help them effectively. Sometimes, all they need is a suggestion or advice, especially if they ask for it. For example, if a friend asks, "Help me in studying English," we can offer tips or guidance. Helping with homework or preparing for a math exam are also common ways to support others. The key is to find practical solutions to their problems, whether that's helping them make decisions wisely or giving advice on what to do next. When we assist them well, they can get full marks or pass their exams, which is a great achievement. Sometimes, helping means more personal support, like lending money or buying school supplies for someone in need. Offering help with a project or solving a problem they face shows that we care and want to support their success. Overall, the most important concept is that helping others involves understanding their needs, offering appropriate advice or support, and guiding them toward positive outcomes. This aligns with our overall goal of fostering a supportive and collaborative environment. All right, for your homework, please refer to your workbook on page 223. There, you'll find exercise I want you to focus on thoroughly understanding and completing this exercise. Remember, the purpose of this homework is to reinforce what we've learned today and help you apply these concepts. Take your time to work through the questions carefully, and don't hesitate to revisit any part of today's lesson if you need clarification. Doing this will really help solidify your understanding and prepare you for future topics. So, make sure to set aside some focused time to complete this assignment. Good luck.